Hi, my name is Anita Narayan, and I just want to take a few moments on this video to discuss the topic of personal transformation, because clearly it's come to mean different things to different people. And by far the most frequent question I get asked on this subject is, well, Anita, is personal transformation simply about mind power? And my answer to that question is invariably no. And the reason why is as follows. There's so much emphasis on mind power simply because it is one area that many human beings struggle with, and hence why we have so many courses and DVDs, teleseminars on that aspect. Yet when you think about it logically, a human being is made up of more than just their mind. There's the physical, there's the emotional, there's the spiritual and the mental dimension to our being. Some people add the soul as another category, and other people combine that under the spiritual category. But nevertheless, we have all these different dimensions. And any personal transformation course or program or journey you go on needs to ultimately recognize those dimensions and how they connect with each other. Now, in terms of the key criteria that are essential to personal transformation, I would point to three hub areas. One is that you need the knowledge regarding how to master your mind, how to master your health, how to master your emotions, how to master your spirit. You need the kind of knowledge, the education that will help you understand how we function as human beings and how you can master those areas. But it's not just about learning those areas as separate standalone categories. The knowledge and the learning has to also embrace understanding how they connect with each other and how you apply the knowledge in an interchangeable way to affect all those different dimensions of your being. So knowledge is one thing. Secondly, what you need is a vehicle, if you like, whether in the form of a life experience or a course or an event, whatever. You need a vehicle for that learning to take root. And for many people, they embark on a course, and that course may have certain things like a fire walk or certain experiences, live experiences, that help and serve as a metaphor for these learning experiences to really take root. And thirdly, you need some form of feedback. And what I mean by feedback is you need some sort of mechanism that you can measure your growth by, something that will feed back to you that you are actually growing and changing. And for some people that may simply be that they write goals against which they measure their development and their progress. Or it might be certain life events and experiences they put themselves through in order to take themselves, as it were, to the edge of themselves, new experiences that will enable them to get some feedback by way of a challenge or test in terms of where they're at any one point in time. So those are the three hub areas that are essential criteria to personal transformation. Now, I have people sometimes get a little bit sensitive when, for example, they have a certain situation. They may not be feeling well, for example, may have an ulcer or something, and I may ask them and say, well, what's been going on in your life? How have you been thinking? What's playing out in your emotions that has contributed to this? And sometimes people get a little sensitive and think, what you mean by that question is that it's not real what they're experiencing, and of course their physical symptoms are very real. But what I attempt to get people to understand is that your mind and your body and your spirit and your emotions are very linked, and we can't separate them out. Each area affects the other. And I came across this a lot when I nursed in psychiatry, particularly patients who had physical manifestations, and there was a lot of stress going on in their life, a lot of emotionally unresolved issues, and this was an area I had to tread with great sensitivity. So next time you find yourself, for example, in a position of anxiety, ask yourself, what is the emotional experience I'm having here? What is the physical experience, the mental and the spiritual components to my experience of anxiety? And see what you come up with. And just by asking yourself those questions, it will increase your awareness of what personal transformation is truly about. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and until the next time, you make the most of your life and have a wonderful day.